Hey there, Squirrel Army. For today, we're gonna be having a look at the new Commander cards from the Wilds of Eldraine Commander decks. This is for the Fae Domination deck. You can join the Squirrel Army by subscribing. Alright, so there's two new face legends. Well, one's the face legend, the other's the sub legend, but whatever. They're two face legends. You're gonna see them out there on the internet. People talking about these cards quite a bit. And hey, I want to share my 2 cents, not just for everyone else, but for my own stuff for later on, because this will help me when we're doing our upgrade guides to give you guys something to reference later on. So if you're coming here from the future when I've done the upgrade guide, hi there, by the way, and drop me a message saying, hey, it's me from the future or something. But anyway, we'll talk about Tagwell, Duke of Splendor here first, because this is the proper face commander. 3 mana fairy, flying and death touch, 2/3. Other fairies get a +1/+1 buff. And if a fairy we control dies, we draw a card and lose a life. So, sort of an aristocrat's look at a fairy deck. Not too sure, because again, they could have a lot of stuff in the precon itself that deals with fairies dying, like having your traditional aristocrat style effects on new cards, new fairies. Though I do think they'd be black because that's more of Black's thing, but still they could be Demir. So, but either way, you know, like your Zulaport, Cutthroat, that type of thing. So perhaps there's more coming, or there's more in the deck themselves that we haven't been shown yet. I know the Angel deck has been fully revealed. I will be getting to it very soon. In fact, this weekend should be out Monday, hopefully, but that's a full deck, pretty much. This is just me saying, hey, these cards exist, and here's my initial thoughts. So, not horrible, but if you don't have specific fairy-based aristocrats payoffs, there are some enchantments. Actually, only like 2, I think. But then again, Bontu's Monument might not be too bad. But yeah, there's not a lot that I would say that already exists that's really on theme. Yes, you can toss in your Zulaport, Cutthroat, etc. Into a deck like this. That's fine. As long as you're fine with that. I know some people are like, no, it must be tribal, and that's it, you know. No other creature types. But yeah, so I still think this is the kind of weaker of the two, just based on cards that exist now. So if they print a whole bunch of aristocrats cards for this deck, which maybe they will, then this could be a better commander. But the other commander I want to talk about, I feel like it's a bit better, which is Alila. So, 4 mana, 2/4 flyer. When we cast our first spell during an opponent's turn, we create a 1/1 fairy creature token, And when a fairy deals combat damage to a player, we can go to creature that player controls. So we're a mixture of flashing things, probably mostly fairies. There are a few flash fairies. And then goading our opponents. So that's pretty unique. Like, black and blue haven't really had much goading. That's usually been red's thing. Though I don't think that's too bad for black and blue to get it. I don't know whether there was one thing that did it, but I can't remember it off the top of my head either way. But still, I do feel it's a little better just on the face of it because it's more broad and it's much easier to play a whole bunch of instant speed stuff and just get incidental flyers that can punch people and goad people. Like if you're running some monarch stuff, some initiative stuff, that stuff can be really useful in decks like these because, again, you're just going to get that payoff of drawing a card at your end step or whatever initiative stage you're on, or even what's the dungeon mechanic. Like, I don't know how loaded you would want to be on that, but I don't know, maybe to help your Undercity thing there going off, that could be alright. There's a couple other things. Obviously, there's treasures and clues that you could look at helping you out to, like, supplement some of the things that your deck wants to do. There's a couple of really good enchantments that deal with creatures dealing combat damage to draw cards, so that can be really helpful with a whole bunch of just like evasive good flyers and just making generic tokens when you're casting spells on other people's turn. So yeah, and in a way, to a degree, you almost want your opponents to cast more spells, or you want to be able to give your opponents more turns so you can cast more spells on their turns. So what you kind of want to do is have those instant speed take an extra turn spells so that you can have a turn and then give your opponent another turn, which was your obviously again your first spell during their turn, and then have that fairy, bop them with the fairy, and then go their thing, then they get back to their turn, and then have something else to cast on their turn, generating another fairy. So again, yeah, some of that kind of shenanigans sounds very much like what Dimir does, and I feel like this is a much easier commander to kind of build around with what exists. Like I said before, the other commander, it really has to have a whole bunch of stuff printed for it that doesn't really exist yet. Whereas this, you can just run most of the good fairies and probably do okay, So, certainly, again, you don't have to be solely fairies, but, you know, you do want to be mainly fairies. So, yeah, that would be alright, I think. But that's my thoughts on this pair from this deck. And I will be talking about the other deck very soon. So yeah, hope you will tune in for that one. But you can always let me know what you guys thought of this one as well. Write your thoughts down there in the comments below. And yeah, hope to see you again in the next one.